Did you know that William Stokoe, a hearing man, revolutionized how we perceive sign language today? It begins with a man named William Stokoe. He wasn't deaf himself, but his impact on sign language was profound. Stokoe was a linguistics professor with an insatiable curiosity. His interest in sign language was sparked unexpectedly, taking him down a path few had traveled before. He saw something in sign language that others overlooked, a complex, fully formed language with its own syntax and grammar. Against the backdrop of a time when sign language was often dismissed as mere pantomime, Stokoe stood as a beacon of change. His tireless advocacy and rigorous research challenged prevailing views and paved the way for a new understanding of sign language. Isn't it fascinating how a hearing man can change the world of sign language? You might be asking, how exactly did he do that? Stokoe's work was groundbreaking. He shattered the notion that sign language was merely a mimed form of spoken language. His research was a seismic shift in the understanding of communication, and it was a beacon of light for the deaf community. Stokoe was an advocate for the idea that sign language wasn't a collection of random gestures or pantomimes, but a fully developed language. He proved that sign language had its own syntax, its own grammar, and its own nuances. He showed the world that sign language was as complex and as expressive as any spoken language. His work was revolutionary. Before Stokoe, sign language was often viewed as a lesser form of communication, a crude substitute for real language. This perspective was not only dismissive but also damaging. It undermined the value and the dignity of the deaf community. But Stokoe's work challenged this perspective. He argued that sign language was not an inferior substitute for speech, but a rich, vibrant language in its own right. The impact of Stokoe's work on the deaf community was profound. His recognition of sign language as a fully developed language led to improved educational opportunities for deaf individuals. Schools started to embrace sign language in their curriculum, acknowledging its legitimacy as a language. This fostered a more inclusive environment for deaf students, enabling them to participate more fully in their education. Moreover, Stokoe's work also led to increased acceptance of the deaf community. His research helped to dismantle the stigma associated with sign language and deafness. It encouraged people to recognize and respect the unique culture and identity of the deaf community. In essence, Stokoe's work was a catalyst for change. It wasn't just about redefining sign language, it was about reshaping society's perception of the deaf community. It was about championing the idea that sign language is not a deficiency, but a difference, not a limitation, but a language. Stokoe's work didn't just change sign language, it changed the world for the deaf community. His legacy continues to inspire and empower, reminding us all of the power of language and the importance of understanding and acceptance. Stokoe's work didn't stop at the deaf community, it reached far into the field of linguistics as well. His revolutionary study of American Sign Language challenged long-held beliefs, expanding our understanding of what constitutes a language. Before Stokoe, linguistics was mainly focused on spoken and written languages. But Stokoe, with his groundbreaking research, argued that sign language was not merely a system of gestures, but a complex, fully fledged language in its own right, complete with its own syntax and grammar. This new perspective on language turned the tables in the linguistics world, opening up a new area of study, not only for sign languages but also for other visual languages. His work sparked a broader recognition and study of these languages, paving the way for a more inclusive understanding of communication. Stokoe didn't just redefine sign language, he redefined language itself. What legacy did Stokoe leave behind? The impact of William Stokoe's work extends far beyond his lifetime. His pioneering research, which validated sign language as a legitimate language with its own syntax and grammar, fundamentally transformed how we approach sign language education. Today, it's recognized as a full-fledged language thanks in part to Stokoe. Moreover, his work continues to empower the deaf community, affirming their linguistic identity and promoting their right to communicate in their own unique way. Stokoe's work continues to resonate today, shaping how we understand, respect, and appreciate sign language and the deaf community. His legacy is a testament to the power of language in all its forms,